Hey folks, this is John Oakes here with Hankster's Hot Rods here in our Homer City, Pennsylvania location. And today in our showroom, we've got yet another addition to our inventory to go over with you. And this being the car right beside me, a 1980 Chevrolet Camaro Z28. Now this one here, as you see it, we'll just give you kind of a brief overview before we start our walk around. This one here, done in the correct color, the white exterior with the red decals here, the stripes and the Z28 badging and so forth. Now this car, as far as the drive line goes, it is a GM 383 crate motor. So when we get to going underneath the hood and we can describe all that stuff, just keep in mind it is not the original motor for the car, but it is in fact a GM crate engine. And then it is backed up by a turbo 350 automatic transmission and a POSI 10-bolt 342 gear in the rear end of the car. As far as basically, walking around the car, again, like I said, the correct color here, all white exterior. You can tell the Z28, it does in fact have your ground effects, spoilers and such. So you've got your front air dam on the front, and then you have the fender flares, both on the front fenders as well as back here on the rear fenders. Now these are in great shape. They're not split or cracked anywhere, and they're all mounted nice and secure on the car. And of course, with our Z28s, just like your Pontiac Trans Ams back in the day, you did have these fender vents on them. This was factory for these cars. Our Z28 sitting here on a set of 15-inch cast aluminum Z28 wheels with the correct center caps. And then as far as tires go, these are a set of brand new Cobra Radial GTs. We've got two 35/60 15s on the front. And then out here on the back, we've got two 45/60 R15s back here. Again, the tread's in great shape, and you'll see that maybe a little bit better in our underside video that we show you here in just a moment. As far as the panel fitment and alignment on the car, very well on this particular vehicle. The gaps here on the front of your door as well as the back of your door, not too awfully bad there. You got a little bit wider gap up front, but again, that allows for that door to swing open and you're not going to catch that on that fender. Nice tight gaps back here on the back side of the door. Elevations as far as your quarters go and your fenders, those all look to be adjusted very, very well. And all of your body lines all the way around this vehicle all match up very, very well. As far as mirrors go on the car, we do have the dual mirrors, both driver and passenger side, body colored mirror. The actual housing for the mirror is in great shape. The glass as well, that's in great shape. And the driver side is in fact a remote adjustable mirror. You can adjust it from inside the car. As far as our glass goes on the doors, that's in great shape. There's no chips, cracks, or scratches on this glass. It's in great shape, slightly tinted here as far as the side glass goes, and you do notice that in fact this is a T-top car. These T-tops are in very good shape, nicely sealed up here from the outside elements, tinted as well, and of course T-tops are removable, so on those nice hot summer days you can go ahead and take those out, cruise around, make a very nice cruise car here for you. Now as far as all of our bright work here, our moldings around the window and across the top side of the door. On the doors here, you've got all the bright work. As far as that goes, condition of those is all very nice. There's no dents or dings. Again, they look very good for that being a 1980 Camaro. Molding and trim work here on your T-tops done in the black. And again, that matches up really well with our front windshield and our rear glass moldings as well, which we'll see here in just a moment. Chrome door handles, those are in great shape. So we'll go ahead now, open up our door, take a look inside at our interior. So we've got the red interior. The seats are done in the vinyl with the velour inserts, bucket seats. You've got all your seat belts, front and rear, your full length center console with the automatic floor shifter. If you take a look at the dash, all the instrumentation there, that is all factory instrumentation. It does in fact still retain the factory or OE air conditioning as far as the controls and all the stuff under the hood. It does also have an aftermarket Pioneer AM/FM CD player in there, and it's got some speakers in the back package tray there. We'll just kind of call those out now because you can't really see them because of the tinted window back there, but there's a set of Scosche 6x9 speakers and a set of Kenwood. They look to be either 8 or 10 inch subwoofers back there. So that's what you got for your speakers back there. Tilt steering column. Like I said, you've got the adjustable mirror on the driver's side, power locks, power windows. So you got those creature comforts there as far as that goes. All of your weather stripping and your seals here up around the doors, all in good shape here. No rips, tears anywhere. Nice and soft. That's going to seal up very good from outside elements. Even all of your weather stripping here on your door, all complete, all attached, good and secure, nice and soft, no tears. Looks good as far as the rubber bump stops on the doors. Those are present also. We'll close this up, and then we'll continue our walk around here of the vehicle. So again, your back quarter panels nice and smooth and straight all the way back. That rear glass here, we've got the black trim all the way around, good and securely fastened there. You can see it is a tinted rear window, and in fact it does have the rear defroster as well. Your trunk lid itself adjusted very, very well here. All your gaps in your elevation on that's in great shape. It's got the trunk spoiler here. It's a 3-piece. You got your ears out here on the side that mount on the quarter panels, and then you've got your separate center section here as well. As far as our taillights go, taillights are in great shape. These would be your OE taillights. No chips, cracks anywhere on those. Of course, you've got the Z28 badging here right on the fuel fill door, and this you just swing that open and you get to your fuel neck right there, so you can go ahead and gas her up. Of course, you see the striping continues here on the rear of the car as well. That rear bumper, that is your plastic bumper there, and again, that's in nice shape. I do not see any cracks or any checks or anything in the paint on that. That all looks good. Let's go ahead, let me grab the key here real fast. We're going to open up our door. I forgot to get, oh wait, no, I did not forget to grab the key. It's here in my pocket. So let's go ahead and open that up. And there we go. Okay, so the key does in fact work the lock, and of course the hinges and the hood spring or truck spring, that all functions as it should also. You've got the little rubber bump stops here on both corners of that rear deck lid. The deck lid itself painted the same white as the exterior of the car. Your trunk weather strip here, all in good shape, meets together in the center. All your rain channels, water channels, and so forth, those are all good and solid, so that's going to direct that water away from the interior of the trunk. The actual trunk floor itself is in great shape here, as we can see, done here in the black and aqua trunk spatter paint. We do in fact have the original T-top covers here for the car as well. So those will be back here for anyone that wants to purchase the car, so you can do, you know, store your T-tops when you're not using them. So we'll go ahead and close this up. There we go. And we'll continue on our way around the car here now on the passenger side. So again, down the passenger side of the car, all the body panels nice and straight. paint all looks to be in really good condition on this 1980 Camaro. You can see again the fender flares and so forth as we walk around the car, all in great shape. The decals also, the condition of those is in great shape there too. Glass here on the passenger side T-tops, same thing. No chips, cracks, or scratches. All tinted here. The black trim all the way around looks good. The bright work here also on our passenger side, that all looks very good as well. No dents or dings, even on the door top itself. As I mentioned, we've got the passenger side mirror. The body of that mirror is in great shape, as well as the glass in it. The chrome door handles are in great condition. You can see our gaps now on this side here. Gaps on this side look really good, very uniform front to back. Same thing with those elevations and so forth as far as the panel fitment goes, all in line with one another and all of our body lines matching. We'll go ahead and open our passenger door up, and we'll take a look at the interior from the passenger side. Again, there's no rips or tears in any of the seat upholstery, nor the carpeting. That all looks good. If you look at the armrest on the center console, you don't see any splits or tears in that. The dash looks to be in pretty good shape. I see one little crack in it over here on the passenger side, but very small and minuscule as far as what you normally see on these cars. Door panels are in great shape on this car too, and same thing with your armrests on those doors. No splits or cracks anywhere there. As I mentioned before, you do in fact have all the seat belts, and again all of your weather stripping here on the passenger side is in great shape too, with no rips or tears anywhere. Nice and soft, good and securely fastened. Same thing here with your door weather stripping all the way around, and again this side as well as the driver's side has all of the rubber bump stops there on your door. Let's close this up. And again, your glass over here too. No chips, cracks, or scratches over here. Looks to be in really good shape. The matching fender vent over here. Again, your ground effects. We've already gone over the wheels and tires. So that brings us now around to the front end of the car. So in this particular vehicle, again, just like on the rear of the car, the front end here, the front bumper and so forth, this is all kind of plastic here, urethane. Again, all the paint looks to be really good shape here on the nose as well. Again, sometimes you'll get some flecks in these and you'll get some, you know, cracks or checking in the paint, but on this particular car I don't see any of that. It looks really nice. Your grille itself here in the center, all in great shape, all intact. No breaks or cracks there. It's got the Z28 emblem here right on the grille itself. Your headlights, traditional sealed beam unit, glass lens, no chips, cracks there. Your directionals or parking lamps, those are in great shape. Again, no chips or cracks as far as the lenses go in those. Just a very good overall condition here on the front end. Your bezels here too around your lights, those are in great shape and all securely mounted. As far as the front end goes, you will notice you do have the inserts there, so if you wanted to put a plate on the front, you could. And then we come up a little further here to our hood. Again, this would be your factory hood, all steel here, except for your hood scoop here. And again, that is the air induction hood. The decals on it are in great shape. The air induction does in fact work on this car too. And again, all your gaps and elevations are all very nice on this hood. As far as the windshield goes, you're going to see an occasional, maybe a little chip here and there in it. Nothing big, very, very minuscule here. You've got the tinted windshield here at the top. And then if you notice, you do not see the wipers. That's because they are here. They're just recessed underneath that hood. So whenever you do open or go ahead and turn those wipers on, they are going to come up. The wiper arms themselves are in great shape, and the wiper blades are a very good blade too. So what we're going to do now, this is the point where we always open the hood up. Now these on these 1980, you know, right around this year, these are a little difficult to get to by yourself, especially when you're like me and you've got little tiny short arms to get to everything. So we're just going to pause for a second so that we can get the hood open for you. All right, so now we did in fact get our hood open, and again, it's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just the hood release itself is pretty far back underneath the front end, and by the time you reach up there, pull it, and then get your hand underneath the hood, it's just a whole lot easier just to pause and get a hand here to do that for you. So the hood hinges, the hood springs, all functioning as they should, holding the hood up all on its own. You can see the underside of the hood here, the insulation itself. You don't see any pieces missing, no pieces hanging down. It's all good and secured using all the correct fasteners underneath here. You do see the wiring and so forth going up to that hood. That is for that air induction hood there so that it is functional. As far as the motor goes, as I mentioned earlier, not the original motor, but it is in fact a GM crate motor. This is a 383 cubic inch stroker motor. It's all been checked out, the serial numbers and everything, so in fact we can't advertise it as such. Starting at the top and kind of working our way down on the car, we've got the black air cleaner up on top with the red Chevrolet there on top. Also, you've got a matching set of valve covers here for this motor. Got the the black coloring with that red Chevrolet embossed in those valve covers. Right underneath the air cleaner, we're going to have a Holley Street Avenger 4-barrel carburetor here with the electric choke, and then that is sitting atop a Weiand Street Warrior aluminum intake for better fuel and air delivery. Heads on this GM crate motor would be GM Performance aluminum heads, and then to help this motor breathe, we've got a set of here Hedman headers. These are 1 3/4 ceramic coated long tube headers, which then empty into a set full 2.5 inch exhaust with cross pipe and Flowmaster mufflers on the vehicle. As far as your front accessories here on the car, we do in fact have a chrome alternator. You've got the water pump there and your power steering reservoir. So again, like I mentioned earlier, power steering. It is a power brake car as well. Disc up front, drums on the rear. Nice set of plug wires here as far as when it comes to the ignition system. They are Taylor Thunderbolt 8.2 wires, and then those are coming off of the HEI distributor back there as well. So just a much more efficient ignition system over like a stock points ignition. Now this car has been upgraded also. It does not have the V belts on it anymore. It's got the serpentine belts on it, so those are going to run a little more true, and you're going to get I think better performance out of the serpentine belts than what you do the regular, like the top cogs or the V belts, any of those. 7-blade mechanical fan, or it's a clutch fan as well. It has an aluminum radiator on it. That's going to help this thing cool so much better. Nice chrome top on that radiator. You've got the shroud on there too around that fan blade, so that's going to help pull the air through the radiator too. Air conditioning. This car does in fact have air. If we look back towards the passenger side of the firewall, you're going to see all your OE stuff back there. I do believe it's probably got an aftermarket compressor on it, but again, all of that is all functioning. All of our hoses, radiator, heater lines, all of that stuff all run nice and neat. All the hose clamps are in great shape. No leaks or drips anywhere on this car here that we can see. Just an overall nice engine compartment here on this particular Camaro. Now right behind this motor, as I mentioned earlier, it does in fact have the automatic transmission. It's the Turbo 350, and then to complete that drive line on the car, it's got the 10-bolt POSI rear end, 342 gear in it. That's going to get you down the road real nice. Good streetable gear, nice cruising gear, but yet if you want to open the car up a little bit, get a little performance out of it, it's going to give you that little bit of snap there too with that particular gear in it. Again, once we go underneath the car, you're going to see the condition of everything underneath there. Balanced drive shaft, all of that stuff. We're pretty much done with our walk around here on the exterior of the car. So with that said, what I always tell you folks to do at this point of our video is, depending on where you're viewing the video from, if you're not on our website, always go there first, www.hanksters.com. You're going to see upwards of 100 photos of this vehicle all the way around and underneath. You're going to see the video that you're watching right now. You're also going to see our retail pricing, all of the options, and a description on the car. And then you're also going to see what that retail pricing does include. It does include free shipping enclosed anywhere within the 48 contiguous states. And it's going to include our Hanksters 3-month, 3,000-mile powertrain warranty. If you need any assistance with that or need to know exactly how that works, I would just recommend give us a call, shoot us an email or a text. We'll be glad to go over how that works. It's a very simple process, so we would be glad to go over that with you. Accessories, parts, so forth like that, anything at all that you would want to have added and or changed on this car, that's something else we always recommend you reach out to us by phone, email, or text. Just let us know what it is you might like to add or change on the car. We can definitely get you pricing on parts and labor for that. With that said, we'll go ahead now, take just another minute here to close everything up. We'll get it on our lift, and then we'll go through the complete underside with you, and then fire this crate motor up and let you hear what that sounds like. Hey folks, here we are once again back in our shop. We've got our 1980 Camaro Z28 up on our lift right now, and as always, we're going to go through this car from front to back while we were underneath it here to go over mainly the condition of everything underneath here, to check, you know, if there's any leaks, any drips anywhere, check the condition of the frame, the floors, all that stuff that we normally do. Again, I know we've already been through probably a lot of this stuff with our walk around video, but again, this is just to give you a visual of the underside along with the condition report, so to speak, on everything we see under here. So starting at the front of the car, of course, the Camaro Z28 does in fact have that lower air dam on it, or the part of that front fascia there. And again, it is plastic and it is in great shape. There's no cracks anywhere on it. It's got all good mounting hardware all the way underneath here, and all mounted good and secure as far as the car goes. So the complete ground effects, the fender flares and everything all tie together there with that front chin spoiler or air dam. We come back a little bit further. Of course, now we're looking at the underside of our radiator and any hoses and so forth that we can see underneath there. And of course, it's the aluminum radiator, the drain petcock, the lower radiator hose, as well as the whole entire bottom of the radiator here is all nice and dry. No leaks or drips anywhere, and all of your hose clamps and such, those are all in great shape. Back a little bit further now, we'll kind of tie in the whole front suspension here. So again, as far as that goes, it starts with your cross member. Again, this front cross member here is in excellent shape. Does not look like it has ever been touched with anything underneath here. Of course, we do have the front sway bar. Now this is, I believe, an inch and, I'm not sure exactly, but I want to say 1 3/4 front sway bar here. The bushings here at the frame are in great shape, no splits or cracks in that, and the sway bar end link bushings themselves, no splits or cracks there, so all of that looks to be in good shape. As far as the rest of the suspension, you've got just your typical stamped steel components, OE here, as far as the upper and lower control arms go on the car. Now out at the end, your ball joints, those all look to be in great shape. The shocks, all the mounting hardware, the shock bushings at our mounting points, all look to be in really good condition here. So that's your suspension. Now again, steering on this car, power steering. And again, we always look at the drag lengths, pitman arm, and then of course your tie rods and tie rod ends on both sides, and everything here all checks out and looks very good too. All of the tie rod ends have the little rubber dust boots on the ball joints, so that's going to keep the grease in, dirt and debris out. Same way with all those ball joints on the car as well. And then braking up front here. So again, this is a power brake car. It is disc brakes up front, drums out on the rear, and that is complete with the all of the emergency brake cables all hooked up, and it is functioning. So it's disc up front, drums on the back. As far as the disc brakes go up front, just typical GM components here. So whenever it comes time that you need to replace like your consumables, like your brake rotors and brake pads and such, you'll be able to do so just by simply going to your local auto parts store and looking those parts up for this particular year, make, and model of car. And as far as the wheels and tires, of course, you get a better sense of the wheels from our walk around video, but they are the cast aluminum Z28 wheel, 15-inch, and then again, brand new. They are Cobra Radial GT tires, 235/60 15s on the front, and then out on the back, the 245/60 15s. And again, no issues there. They are practically new tires up here. Again, treads in great shape. Now we'll come back into the center and we'll talk a little bit about the drive line as we walk back through the car here. So again, this is our GM crate motor, 383 cubic inch motor here, stroker motor. What we're doing here is we're looking at that oil pan. Make sure that it's leak free, drip free, nice and dry all the way around, and that it is. The oil pan is in great shape on this vehicle too. No dents or dings anywhere. Your drain plug nice and dry, and it is nice and dry on the back side of it here, where a lot of times you might see a little bit of a leak or something like that from like a rear main seal. This is nice and dry all the way around that oil pan. As far as the transmission goes, this is a turbo 350 automatic transmission. You've got that chrome flywheel and torque converter cover. That is in nice shape. You've got the polished finned aluminum transmission pan. That is in great shape. No leaks here at the drain plug and no leaks around the perimeter of that pan. The transmission cross member, that's in great shape. The tail shaft mount itself is in great condition too. Transmission all together nice and dry, including even back here at the rear where your output shaft seal is. That's where your slip yoke for your drive shaft slides into it. That is all nice and dry around there. Speaking of the drive shaft, this is going to be a weighted or balanced drive shaft. That's going to help eliminate any kind of vibrations in the drive line you might have. And of course, all of the universals at both ends there have been checked over and made sure that they are all good for the long haul. So that's pretty much your drive line except for the rear, but we'll get to that as we get a little closer there. Exhaust work, as you can see, 1 3/4 inch here, long tube ceramic coated headers, and then those empty out into 2.5 inch exhaust all the way back. It does in fact have the crossover pipe here. And then as far as the mufflers go, those are a dual set of Flowmaster turbo style mufflers back there, with tailpipes up over top of the rear end housing and the tailpipes exiting between the quarter panel and the rear leaf spring. And again, we'll get a better shot of that as we come back through. Frame and floors, well, first of all, subframe car. But the subframe on the front here is in great shape. As you can see, nice and straight rails here. Nothing ever, doesn't look like anything's ever touched this. Your body mount bushings all look to be in good condition. The floors look to be in phenomenal condition. Actually, I don't see any patching, no holes there. You can see all of your your supports and bracing all intact, and all your stamping lines are there and present, so you know that it's all OE stuff here. Like I said, just it looks great. All of your brake lines, your fuel lines all run right along the sides here by your pinch welds. Those all look to be in good shape, leak free and dry also. Pinch welds and rocker panels. The pinch welds are nice and straight down both sides of the car, and the rocker panels are good and solid on both sides of the vehicle also. As we come back a little further, then, as I mentioned, we'll get to this rear suspension now. So rear suspension is a multi-leaf suspension style here. It does in fact have the air shocks on the back too, and that just makes things nice and easy as far as adjustment go. You can raise or lower the rear ride height of the car, give it the look and the feel that you're looking for there. Just a very nice, easy way to accomplish that. Wheels and tires, all the same stuff as far as the 15-inch Z28 cast aluminum wheel with those Cobra Radial GTs. But again, like I said, the backs are just a slight bit bigger, being the 245/60 15s. The rear also has the sway bar here too. So again, those sway bars are going to help tie each corner together, make this car nice and tight and handle and you know, really hug the road there for a 1980 Camaro. The rear end itself, as far as leaks or drips, the front snout of the rear end nice and dry. The rear diff cover nice and dry on there as well. All of our brake lines running across here nice and dry also. You've got the 10-bolt GM rear end. Now again, this is the big 10 though, the 8.5-inch ring gear inside here, so it's still a good stout rear end. I believe that was a 342 POSI rear gear that's in there. So again, a good gear for performance and for just driving around too, so it's not gonna tack you anything super, you know, high while you're out just cruising around, but yet whenever you want to stab the throttle and get a little performance out of it, that gear is going to do you well as far as that goes. And like I mentioned earlier, the tailpipes are up over top of the rear end, exiting out here through the space between your leaf spring and your quarter panel with a nice slash cut exhaust there as far as that goes. The tank, the fuel tank, that's in great shape. As you can see, there's no dents or dings anywhere in that tank. All of your mounting hardware, your straps and such, those are all in good condition. And fuel lines going all the way back, all the way to what we can see going up over top of the fuel tank. Everything is nice and dry and secured as it should be. And that is pretty much it for underneath our 1980 Camaro. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and lower this now, get underneath the hood so that we can fire that up and get you a video of how that engine sounds with this, the headers and the dual exhaust with those Flowmaster mufflers.